Van D, a dynamic leader with decades of experience building companies and crushing sales. He's been there and done that.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Van D.
Inspiring audiences across the country to do it too. Here's Van.
Welcome, everybody, to the Van D podcast. And this is a special, very special 3-part series with Jeana Goosmann from Goosmann Law here in the Midwest, somebody I greatly admire, not just for her business acumen, but the way she treats people, the way she runs her company. There are just so many things that she does that I will benefit from in my business, as well as all of you in your industry, no matter what you do. Her values and the way that she approaches business is something to really pay attention to. So hopefully you listened to part 1. That was about culture. This is part 2, and this happens to be one of my favorite topics. It's about service. This podcast, we're going to be talking about service. And before I go any farther, I better welcome Jeana. Hey, Jeana, welcome.
Thanks, Van. I'm excited to be here with you today on the Van D podcast.
Yay. Thank you very much. 2 Omaha Burke High Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs.
Yes. So I've always, and I didn't make this up, unfortunately, but somebody said this years ago, and it really stuck to me, is service. Customer service is not a department. It's an attitude. And I really loved hearing that because it makes so much sense to me. Either you want to give good service or you don't. And Jeana, I know you're a tremendous leader and people really enjoy working at your firm, but don't you feel that service is not just with impressing your clients, it's servicing the people that are working with you every day?
I absolutely agree with that, Van. And in fact, I have this philosophy of a giving mindset. And I think it goes to a mindset. When you approach business by the give, and not giving because you're going to definitely get something in return. It's just a overall philosophy of service and having a giving mentality. And through that, then, we've developed what we like to have as wow client service. And wow client service is really personal to whoever it is you're trying to wow. What wows Jeana Goosmann is going to be different than what wows Van D.
Well put. So one of the things that I feel, and I really agree with what you just said, but one of the things that I really feel strong about is I really want my clients not just to bring me up in a real estate conversation, because that's my background the last almost 4 decades. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm only 21 and I've been in real estate almost 4 decades. How's that work? So, but I didn't want people just to say, yeah, I use Van Deeb's company or Van as my real estate in a real estate conversation. I wanted them to bring me up in a conversation that they weren't talking about real estate. I wanted people to say, oh, hey guys, by the way, let me tell you about this great experience I had with my real estate professional. I wanted them to go out of their way to talk about me. And that was my number one goal. Is I approached it, Jeana, is I didn't want to give anybody a reason not to talk highly of me.
Absolutely. So in order to do that, Van, too, you know more than anyone, how do you make someone feel important? You have to know them and what they value. And then in turn, you can wow them or make them feel important, as you so often speak about, and at a really personal level. So I know Van just got a new puppy, and I wouldn't be surprised if Van doesn't receive some specialty dog treats in a Goosmann gift bag, thanking him for being on his podcast.
Oh, geez. Well, thank you. Yes, I just became a dog owner at 60, and I'm crazy about this dog. It's changed my life. And so thanks to my girlfriend for introducing me to being a dog owner. I'm very, but thanks for bringing that up. So yes, I serve him very well.
So giving somebody dog treats has nothing to do with the contract we may have just done or a deal we closed or an estate plan, but it's that extra that really delivers the wow. And it really shows that you care, right? Isn't that what the heart of customer service is all about?
Make me feel like I matter. That's really, and I abuse that, Jeana, and you know that. You've heard me speak before. I abuse that, but that's the message. To me, that's what service is. Make me feel like I matter. I promise you, people in your firm aren't going to win every case or aren't going to be successful with every client. That's just the way it is. And, hopefully it's very few. I know I can tell you there's several people in my history, I didn't sell their house and they used somebody else after me. It just happens. But I never wanted to give them a reason on something that I controlled. And making them feel like they matter, giving them incredible service is something I have to do regardless what the results are going to be. And to me, service and fundamental go together because they're both on the same page. Is getting back with people.
Timeliness, right? I keep up with the pace of business. That's one of our core tenets of philosophies. If we can be responsive and we get the deal moving and we aren't the ones, everybody wants to blame the lawyers, right? Oh, lawyers are slowing it down. Or definitely have to do our due diligence and make sure that we accomplish all the things that need to happen. But because we work as a team, we're able to deliver timely. And that's a differentiator in the market.
Doesn't that really play a role in your industry where you're dealing with people, some of them aren't the happiest. Maybe they're going through a tough time. I know you guys like to specialize a lot in business, so you're probably you're probably not dealing with the emotions as much, are you? If you're specializing more
a lot of
with
times
business clients,
we'll be working on matters though that are the company issues for that business. So if a company gets in a dispute and it's a major breach of contract case, or potentially there might be a group of employees that left and they're now competing and they took their trade secrets. So the matters that we're dealing with really could affect the entire company. And it's make or break. If we win that case or if we resolve this dispute, or similarly, if we're doing a transaction for them and they're making a major acquisition, the risk and the exposure they have, they're really putting in our hands. And we take that really seriously because if it affects the whole company, it affects the owners and all the employees that work there. And it's beyond one life.
So wouldn't you say also regarding to that service and resourcefulness, don't they go together in your industry where you're helping this company and their family or any disputes? It seems like Goosmann Law, you have a lot of resources. You have a lot of people in specialty industries that can help these people.
We do. And I think, Van, you hit it with it has to be a collaborative approach. So just because we take the legal angle, we also need to make sure that we're helping them by surrounding them with a success team. And it's the right team around them for whatever it is that they're dealing with at that particular moment. So if they need a top-notch realtor and we need to sell some piece of real estate, is it a tax issue? Whatever the various matter is, we have to bring a team together, not only internally, but around that client to help them be the hero and be successful.
That's a great approach. Well, I sure like the way that your business blueprint is. And, you know, I sat with at one of your big conferences. We're going to talk about that in part 3 more, but you're just coming off a Be Worth It conference. And I tell you, the people I met there are incredible. And your headliner, Erin Brockovich, talk about how cool that was to listen to her speak. But I got a chance to visit with a couple of your attorneys at my table, and it just seemed like, you know, everything that we talk about in our conversations that is also, it comes out of your new book. A lot of the stuff that we talk about is in your new book. That service is really the main issue, is what the main point is with your company is you want to be known as we give great service.
Absolutely. Our mission is worth it. And that's also the name of my new book. And I think that if you can focus on delivering value, that's what will help your business expand. And the value needs to be timely, right? It has to be a positive approach. You have to be solutions oriented and really listen to the client and what their goals are and make sure that you're delivering on those goals.
So you're not just talking to your clients about the law. You're talking about, you know, other aspects to help make their business run smoother.
I want to know what they're trying to accomplish and what the heart of their business is. And if they have particular goals, how can I help them achieve those? When I know the holistic approach, then I can get down and really know the purpose behind this particular contract or this particular employment issue, whatever it may be. But you have to know the why behind what they're doing.
Yeah, see, I'm a service junkie, and people that know me know that I really pay attention to service because, when you demand of yourself to give great service, you demand good service, and it just it's just something that you pay attention to because it's so important to you to give great service. You're paying attention when the role is reversed and somebody's giving you service.
Absolutely. And one of the ways that we do that, Van, internally is we have something that's really unique to Goosmann. We do every Friday, every employee turns in what we call their KAA, which stands for their kick-ass accomplishments and weekly goal sheet.
I love that.
It's an incredible communication tool, and it also helps us making sure that we're delivering great service internally. And by people listing out what are their 3 top accomplishments they did this week and what are they hoping to accomplish top 3 next week, it really goes back to that service internally as well and making sure we have a team approach and are also supporting each other internally with that same service mindset.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things that we have a lot in common. I felt the same way. I didn't have as much fun with being creative as you did with your people, but that says a lot when you're engaging the people within your firm to buy into that. We are a company that's known for giving great service. I had recently, I took my car in, and I'll tell this quick little story here. So I took my car in to get serviced, and the guy's been servicing my car forever, and I've told people how great he is, but that's about it. And I started thinking when I was leaving there, I said, anybody can sell a product. You can sell at Goosmann Law to get somebody to do business with you, but it's service that keeps that client coming back. It's, once they've committed to using your law firm, you've got them. You're going to represent them in whatever their situation is and their challenge or whatever the topic may be. But to get them to continue to do business with you, to talk about you to their sphere of influence, it's service that gets the sale. And so, as a matter of fact, I wrote a newsletter about that, I don't know how many years ago, called Service Gets the Sale. People can look that up on my website, on my blog, because I really believe in it. But instead of just thinking that when I'm driving home, I called back to the dealership and I said, because I don't know the owners. This is a dealership. I don't know the owners. So I said, can I get the email of one of the owners? And the manager I called said, absolutely. It took me 3 minutes to write him an email, and I just put, dear so-and-so, I want to tell you about this gentleman that's been servicing my car for the last 6 years. He continues to do it with a smile. He cares, and this is one of the reasons why I keep coming back. It's because of this gentleman. And, I've done that, Jeana, I don't know how many times, and I've never heard back from the owner. And it's kind of like, that's, if he did get the email and didn't respond, shame on them. This guy responded within 30 minutes saying, I will make sure to contact him and tell him how grateful we are to have him. I just think that's
outstanding.
Super important. Now, if somebody contacted you and said, I really enjoyed working with one of your staff members or attorneys, I know you're the type. You're going to stop what you're doing and call and tell them that you just got a great compliment.
Oh, I would be thrilled to get that message. And then internally, we would celebrate that person. We'd send out a team-wide email. They'd probably be highlighted in our newsletter. They might receive the star of the month, and then they get a gift card to the Goosmann store.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that. It's so refreshing when I've walked into Jeana's office and people are just super friendly. And I'm like, are these guys, is this normal? You just don't. I'm just not used to walking in constantly when I walk in someone's office. And
my director of first impressions is doing a good job.
She's doing a great job. Yay, her. I hope she's listening. So service is really important to all of this. And I want to invite my listeners to get this book called Be Worth It by Jeana Goosmann. You can get it at Amazon. This philosophy that Jeana has with ready, execute, and deliver really, is spot on with what we're trying to accomplish as business people. And one thing I like about your new book, Jeana, it's universal. It's for every industry. If you wake up in the morning and you're breathing, this book is for you.
It really is. I call myself the CEO's attorney. I've been representing CEOs in my career for going on a couple decades here soon. And it's through that and working hand in hand with them and getting to know them and what matters to them. And I've seen what it takes for them to be successful, in addition to in my own business and what it's taken for us to be successful in starting the Goosmann Law Firm and being one of the fastest growing law firms in the country now. And from that, I've always loved the color red. And it just made sense for the ready, execute, deliver model to come out of my passion for the color red and also my passion for success and being around others that are successful and what it takes to win in business and in life.
So you're learning from your environment. It's always a learning experience for you, isn't it?
You never stop learning, right, Van?
Yeah, well, if you're smart, you do. I know a lot of people that have been in a certain position for many years that think they know everything. It's real tough to be around those people. I could have that attitude being in real estate for almost 40 years. It's quite the opposite. I'll meet with somebody that just got in real estate, and I go in that meeting wanting to leave with something that I didn't know. I want to learn. And Jeana, I know you're that way also, which is why Goosmann Law is so successful.
Innovation. You have to stay cutting edge, and you do that by learning from those around you and seeing what's out there and what's new and what's fresh. Yeah. I think that's part of why I love surrounding myself with other thought leaders like you, Van.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so this is a conversation that Jeana and I could have talking about customer service. This could go on and on and on. And instead, I'd like to invite my listeners, if they ever have any needs or anything that requires somebody to look over their contracts or paperwork, or they need an attorney, going to Goosmann Law would be very intelligent of them to do. And everybody's wonderful there. So today I want to just wrap it up by telling Jeana, thank you for visiting with me on this short podcast about service. It's such an important topic that we could continue this on and on, couldn't we?
We sure could, Van. And I think the accessibility to your podcast and to this information and to those legal services is so important, and you're doing a tremendous service to the community.
Thank you. I'm very, very grateful. So with that, I'd like to close on that compliment. So with that, I'm going to invite everybody listening today to please rate, review, and subscribe to my podcast. So this is going to do it for my three-part series. This is part 2 with my special guest, Jeana Goosmann. And today we talked about service. Be looking for part 3 of 3, because that's going to be a very important topic that's very dear to me, and that's community engagement. Once again, thank you for tuning in.
A Parkville Media Production.